entitled. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
Take it easy. You're the good guys.
Are you ready for a war?
Dear Lord Jesus, this ain't happening, man. This can't be happening, man. This isn't happening.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of
Truth Theorem Radio.
Episode number 1.22.
Hey, nice simple binging.
There we go.
Bings are good.
The bing is back.
Hey, you know what else
The bing is
you
back.
gotta love?
Jamie Havocan.
Oh, IRN. Oh, gotta love him.
Yes, sir. And I am very proud to be a part of IRN.
Absolutely. And if you missed our last show with Jamie Havocan, please go check it out.
You can download it off iTunes or right off our website, truththeoremradio.com.
Yeah, he's had tons of UFO experience. He's down there in Florida and done a lot of sky watching and seen all kinds of UFOs. And he's done all kinds of UFO-type interviews. And he's the founder of the Inception Radio Network.
I think when you have an experience like he's had, you have to do something about it.
I think so.
That's what the network's about.
Yeah.
Exploration.
And I think for us, we've kind of got the cart before the horse. We're trying to do something about something we haven't experienced, right?
Well, I've experienced some things.
Well, ghost stuff, but not like UFO things and a lot of these things we're into, you know.
No, the colorful magical lights I saw this summer were the closest thing to a paranormal thing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I disagree with you.
Well, and I've only had, a couple little things that I could put in the coincidence file.
Since we've been here at the studio?
Well, and in my recent paranormal history,
The Dark Man.
The Dark Man.
The Dark Man.
And I know we've paid rent, so we're good there. What?
Not watching us.
Yeah.
You know what Jamie didn't see?
What's that?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot?
That's right.
No.
Do you believe in Bigfoot? What do you think?
Sure.
You're not so sure? You're on the fence about Bigfoot?
Yes.
I'm honestly, I didn't put much stock into Bigfoot, and I saw some Bigfoot documentary, I think on History Channel or something, and I thought, holy crap, there is as many Bigfoot sightings as there are UFO sightings.
I am not a disbeliever.
It's huge.
No, and what's the film? Is it the Patterson film?
Yeah.
Is that the original one where they
with the female Bigfoot?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's the one. I looked at that. I was looking online today because we're going to have a guest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who, what's his name again?
Ben Peveler.
Ben Peveler. Now, he's a crypto specialist, researcher,
right.
and he also does UFOs and ghost hunting
Paranormal and everything.
Paranormal and all that kind of stuff. But I personally like the fuzzy guy. So I wanted to do the research on Bigfoot because I haven't looked at that information for years.
Mm-hmm.
The popularity of it has kind of gone down, and we've been talking about ghosts and spaceships so much. So I'm looking at this Bigfoot stuff, and I found stuff about feral kids. Have you heard about feral children?
Feral children? Like
No.
kids that get lost in the jungle and they're raised by animals?
Yeah, Mowgli.
Like Tarzan?
Mowgli kids.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
This really happens?
This is a
movie
real
thing.
story.
Okay, all right.
Are you ready, children?
Mm-hmm.
Gather around your radio. Get close now. Daddy. Get all snuggly.
That was creepy,
Let
dude.
me
Don't
tell
ever
you
do
a
that
story.
again.
That was really pretty. Okay.
Tell us, Daddy.
So here we are in someplace in Russia, and they have the name here, but if I read it, I would just butcher it so much that it would be embarrassing, so I won't even say. Okay, somewhere in Russia, here is this lady who has a husband, and he's an invalid in a wheelchair and so on and so forth, and she abandons him and their 3-month-old son. Now, the invalid somehow managed to escape the house, and he leaves the 3-month-old son alone in the house with the house guard dog. And he abandons the house. And they live out in the middle of nowhere, and nobody bothers and checks on them. And I would assume that the people who would check on them think that they would take the kid with them wherever they went, but they didn't. And the dog raised the kid until he was 7 years old.
Shut up.
And that's when they finally discovered the kid.
Really?
Yes, and they took him in, and they say it so matter-of-factly. He had a problem with speaking, and he didn't
food before he ate.
He'd lick himself all the
He
time,
always
which was
tried to lick
not
between
very
his legs.
sociably acceptable.
reach.
Couldn't take him out into public.
Those were all the things they said about him. And I was like, no kidding. You've been raised for 7 years with a house dog.
And you
he-
wonder why.
Yeah, and he walks
acts
on
like a
all
dog.
fours. So he was like one of the most documented cases, I guess, in Russia about a feral child being raised that way. And the point I was making, or the segue I was trying to get to, was that
Russians are heartless.
the Russians are they don't visit their neighbors much in Russia.
That wheelchair guy.
They're not friendly. It's all the vodka. But anyway, is it possible that Bigfoot is like a feral species of humans that a tribe of them got
raised
lost somewhere?
by
I don't know.
tribe of a group of children got raised
That
by
does
apes
not
or something,
explain the
maybe?
hair.
The hairy
Or
all
the
over the
hair,
body. True. Yeah. I'm not
Maybe-
a scientist. I don't even mind. I play one on the radio, but no. There's no PhD after my name, before it.
Well, I want to know more about Bigfoot stuff, and I'm kind
I
of
do too.
excited to talk to our guest.
let's talk to Ben
our
then.
expert. So let's get Ben on the horn here, and we will be right back with more. Ben?
Radio. Hi, can you hear my voice? Imagine how many other people can hear it too. If you have advertising needs, then look no further. The Inception Radio Network currently has openings for on-air advertisements and radio show sponsorships. Given any thought to your target demographic? Inception has you covered there too. Advertising on a network gives you multiple opportunities to advertise on a wide variety of radio show broadcasts, and we have one to fit every advertising need. You know, in recent years, internet radio has exhibited a phenomenal listener growth. An Arbitron Edison survey shows that online radio boosts at least 33 million unique visitors each week and 54 million each month. And that number amazingly continues to grow. And these listeners are a part of many businesses' core demographics. And surveys have shown that internet radio listeners are far more likely than regular radio listeners to spend money on a whole range of activities. You know, internet listeners vote, they dine out and eat fast food, and they grab a cup of coffee. And here's the interesting one. They buy items online at a much higher rate than all other market segments combined. Internet radio also enables businesses to connect with consumers during work hours, where increasingly more lifestyle decisions are being made. Advertise with the best. The Inception Radio Network offers competitive advertising rates to fit just about anyone's advertising budget. Stop by today at www.inceptionradionetwork.com or call us toll-free at 1-888-919-2355. Get the word out. Get results with the Inception Radio Network.
And what the hell is that smell? I could have been at a barbecue!
This is so nuts. I mean, listen to what you're saying. It's paranoid delusion. It's really sad.
And we are back.
All right.
Back again. I have a feeling this is going to be very good.
It is going to be good. We got Ben here online, Ben Peveler. And,
Peveler.
Peveler, I'm saying that wrong.
Yeah.
Ben Peveler. I've been calling you the wrong name this whole time. That's sweet. Now Rob's over there just glorying.
I'm actually doing a victory dance.
It's happened a lot of times. So
No,
not a
it's just
big deal,
because
no.
before we did our show, I asked him. I said, "How do you pronounce that name?" Oh, that's right. That's what it is. I've already checked that.
Yeah.
I said, "Are you sure you don't want to call the guy the wrong name?"
Didn't we call you that last time? Anyway.
How rude of us.
Ben, you're part of Northeastern Anomalous Research, or NEAR.
Yes, yeah, I'm a member of that, which I was honored to be inducted by my great friend Bruce Barraclough. He's the team leader, and I become a member of NEAR about 3 months ago.
Okay, cool.
But
What kind
I've
of
been
organization
studying-
is NEAR?
NEAR, we study any type of paranormal.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
mostly Bruce is up in Staten Island, New York. They cover a lot of ghosts and hauntings. He's now getting into cryptozoology and UFO. I mean, we're kind of trying to mix everything.
Good.
You know, do a little bit of everything. Like, you know, the Destination Truth show where they'll do like an hour of
Kind of like
ghosts
us.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and another hour of other, you know, cryptids or UFOs.
That's
That's
why
awesome.
you're.
So-
That's why you're a good guest for us, Ben, because we're kind of
Yeah.
all over the place. We do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's what we do. You know, we anything paranormal, we'll research it.
Yeah. Like last time we had Jamie Havocan and we talked all kinds of UFO stuff, and I understand you have some UFO experience.
Yeah, I sure have.
Wow.
You know, to get started off, I've done this when I was a kid. I started reading books. You know, when I was in school, 6, 7 years old, I was reading books about Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster, ghosts, UFOs. So it's been something that I've really been interested in my whole life.
Wow.
And, okay, I would say back in about 93, me and my best friend, Corey, we were out riding four-wheelers on some land that was close to where we had cattle at.
Now, how old are
And
you
we
at this
was
time?
I'm 36 now, so
Don't
I was
make me
around-
do math. Oh my God.
That's my worst subject.
Carry the
Just, you know,
3.
To the 5, so
I
you're
was 19, 20.
Okay.
Okay, so there was liquor involved. Okay, by the chuckle,
that I
I know.
recall. Could have
Okay,
been.
not that I recall.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
I don't want to take you off track. But
Okay, Ben. So you were
I
out,
was 19
out in the field drunk,
and
and
no,
no.
no, that's
Yeah.
not the that's not the picture I'm painting. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
So we were in southern Illinois, right where I'm at now. We had cattle, and we was riding through the woods, and we come to this big opening. And in the middle of the woods, there was this big opening. And my buddy Corey, he looks over and he says, "Hey, Ben, what's that burlap sack doing laying over there in the field?" And I looked over, and it, you know, to me, it looked like a burlap sack, too. And I said, "I don't know, let's ride the four-wheeler over there." So the closer we got to it, we could tell this thing, whatever it was white. And I said, "Corey, that's not a burlap sack." So shut the four-wheeler off, and we got up to it. And this thing was, it was in the middle of a perfect round circle. I'm saying probably a 10 to 12 foot perfect round circle that had been smashed down in the grass.
Kind of like a crop circle type thing. Is that?
Kind of like that.
I'm
but I
envisioning the
would say-
Terminator thing. You know, the Terminator bent over. It looks like a white egg, a circle around him.
Okay.
This is freaking me out.
All right. All right.
I haven't heard the story. Continue, please.
And, you know, the closer we got to it, I said, "Man, this is," you know, I was saying, "This is a perfect 10 to 12 foot round circle." And the burlap sack, once we got closer to it, Corey's like, "That's a pig." And I got looking, I said, "It is a pig, but it's ghost white pale." Well,
Wow.
when we get up there to check it out, this pig was cut from its neck all the way down to its private area. It had no blood in it. There was no blood on the ground of this perfect circle. No traces of blood anywhere around that area. But there was this pig right smack dab in the middle of a perfect 10 to 12 foot round circle.
Did you take pictures? Did you have a camera?
Well,
in here?
unfortunately, back then, we didn't have cell phones with cameras.
Yeah.
You know, this
The
was
Stone
before then.
Age.
Wow, I
The only
remember
thing
that.
I had on me, I was carrying my .44 Magnum. You know,
Wow.
because every time we was out in the woods, I always carried a pistol. But
Smart.
and we got to looking at how it had been cut, and we had cattle, and we butchered them. I know what cuts look like. My animals with a knife. Whatever had cut this pig was precision. I mean, it did not look like any kind of blade cut I've ever seen in my life. It was cut straight down this pig, and like I said, it was drained of any blood. You know, and there was no traces of blood on the ground around it, no traces of blood anywhere. What's weird?
What was it? I'm sorry. What was the circle like? You said there was a circle. Is it just like grass pressed down circle, or is it a burn or?
Well, it was just like grass pressed down flat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, just laid out flat. And you know, when this cut on this pig was just, I've never seen nothing like it. I mean, even the sharpest knife I've ever used never made a cut that clean.
So now what do you guys do? Here you are standing over this, obviously more than surgical surgery, cut open swine, and
at the time I was thinking, hey, let's get out of here. I didn't want to stick around. Like I said, I was carrying my .44 Magnum, but still, I wanted to get out of there.
I'm curious though. What was your initial feeling? I mean, did you think this is some kind of satanic rite that's taken place, or did you think alien?
At the time, I didn't think aliens because we'd heard stories about satanic activity really close to the area.
Yeah, that would have been my first guess.
But I just can't see any knife that would have made this precise of a cut.
And where's the blood?
And where's the blood exactly? People asked me, "Has it been what you think it was satanic activity?" And I was like, "Well, you tell me where the blood went to then."
Exactly.
There was none there.
Was it missing any appendages or?
Not
did you take an inventory?
Well, I mean, did it have its ears? Did it have its eyes?
I stuck my hand in its rectum. I felt around, and no, it has its liver. No, it's good. No, I ran. That's what I did.
Ready to get out of there.
Yeah, that's what I would be doing. 44 and
so, and we've had cattle that have died, and possums and coyotes, foxes, whatever will eat on them.
Exactly.
Animals had not touched this thing. I'm guessing it was probably laying there for at least 24, if not 48 hours, and it did not have a single animal bothering, biting it, eating on it, nothing, which is another weird thing to me. I've never seen a dead animal around here that, coyotes or something haven't ate on.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you extracted all the blood out of a creature, I mean all of it, what's left, and would that deteriorate and rot like a regular corpse?
No.
Yeah.
It would.
And that was weird. I mean, like I said, this circle was round, and I'm wanting to say it was probably 10 to 12 foot, perfect circle. And it was smack dab in the middle. There was no blood on the ground or even on the pig. There was not even any blood that leaked out of the pig. It just looked like a ghost white pale pig.
If it's aliens, then my first thought would be like, thank God it's a pig and not me.
Yeah.
They could just be like, I'm tired of pigs.
What do they need that pig blood for? That's what I'm wondering. Are they eating it? Are they using it to reproduce with? Are they doing experiments on it?
Aren't pigs
sick
closest
head
to
do
humans?
you have, Jason?
What? What are
is
they
wrong
doing
with
with it? They got to be doing something with it.
A barbecue in space. Probably.
They use it as spaceship fuel? What? I don't know.
And that right there, that's the good. They use a spaceship fuel.
Well, you know what? If
don't take Jason seriously.
If it was aliens, they're not Jewish.
That's right. They're not Muslims. They're not Jewish. They
I know. They're selling it to the lizard people. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's all capitalism.
Getting back to the real story, thank you guys.
Okay.
This story's cool.
So
now what?
We take off. Because I told Corey, I said, "Man, let's get out of here." We might have stayed there 2 or 3 minutes, looked at this thing. I said, "Let's get out of here." Even carrying a big pistol, I was ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, we took off, went home, never thought nothing about it. Then my cousin was up from Kentucky, and this was about 3 years later. I'll never forget it. It was November of 1996. I'm not for sure the date. I'm wanting to say around the 17th, somewhere in there. He was up here, and since we had cattle around this area, we'd always drive this back road at night and shoot at coyotes because they'd kill some of our calves and that.
Mm-hmm.
We first hit this road, and this road is about 2.5 miles from where I'd found the pig 3 years previously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it attaches to this other road. We come around the curve on the road, and I see what looks like a spotlight way, 3-4 miles in front of me out in the field. And I tell my cousin, I said, "Don't be spotlighting nothing right now. That could be somebody up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like a game warden or something."
Exactly.
I said, "Do not be shining that spotlight."
Mm-hmm.
So And this road, we go up over it, and it went down into a valley, and I lost sight of that one light. We come back up the hill, and it looks now, at the time, it looks like 10 separate fires burning in a field.
Are they burning red?
They would, yes. Yeah, they look just like what you would picture. It almost looked like 10, just separate fires in a field.
So they were long, like tall, pointy, like a fire, or they were like an orb, or okay. All right.
From this perspective, where we were sitting at the time when we come over this hill, it looked like red, just like a campfire.
Like a bonfire. Okay, all right.
Like somebody had set 10 separate fires in this field.
Okay.
And by this time, I've grown up my whole life being outdoors hunting and everything, and at this time I'm getting scared. In this, because you got to remember, this is like 2 miles from where he found that pig at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm getting scared. I remember looking at my cousin Kevin, and I said, "Load the rifles, get the clips in them, load them, and get them up front." I said, because whatever this is, we're going to drive up on top of it.
Are you thinking humans? Are you thinking, these are people?
He's thinking aliens at this point.
You're thinking aliens? No.
I'd heard so many stories about satanic practices in this part where we were at. I was really worried that's what was probably going on out there.
Yeah, that's what I would be thinking.
UFOs didn't even enter my mind at this time. I was scared that there was a lot of people out there practicing black magic or something.
I saw Deliverance, too,
right.
in the theater when it came out.
All right, I'm with you now. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
But, we had, I don't know, probably 6 guns with us. So, I told Kevin, I said, load up my AK and load up your AR-15 and get them up here in the front. I said, because whatever this is, we're going to drive up on it. Because after we seen it, the road does an S-curve. Mm-hmm. After we seen them 10 separate fires, we started heading west and lost sight of them. Then we turned back north and couldn't see them because it went down in kind of a dip in a valley again.
Mm-hmm.
We come to the top of this hill, and the best, I'll never forget it. The best I looked down the hill into this lake. There's a gate there where you can drive down, and this private property a guy owns. You can drive down there, and he had a barn and a place where you could put your boat in to fish. I look down in that lake, and what I see is this giant saucer-shaped thing sitting on top of the water. And it had an X pattern of lights going over the top of it. They were blinking. One strand, running left and right, one strand running up and down. And the weird part.
The weird part?
The weird part? Okay. What? No.
Yeah. It was already weird.
The fact you weren't drinking was when we started with the weird part.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what everybody we hadn't had a sip that day or that night. And, out of the bottom of it was coming what looked like this orange fire just shooting out in a circle around. It literally looked like the lake was on fire and burning.
So now wait, is this like floating in the lake or floating above the lake? What?
It was actually from where it was setting. The lake is not very deep.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know, from what I've seen, if it was just hovering a few feet off the ground.
Really
or it was
close,
actually landed there.
Okay.
I'm thinking it was probably setting about 4 or 5 foot off the ground.
Okay, all right.
Off the water.
Off the water, okay.
And how far away from you was this craft?
It was less than 70 yards.
Okay.
Oh wow, really close. Okay. And how big? How big would you describe this?
How big? People always ask me that. How big was it? It was the size. I would say it was the size of a medium 2-story house.
Wow.
So it's big.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was real big.
That's large. Now, I want to know, as soon as you see this thing, and everyone else in the truck sees it as well.
It's my cousin. He was the only one with me.
Your cousin.
Yeah.
So he sees it as well.
Mm-hmm.
What was his response? I mean, what was your initial response? Yeah. Choked up.
I mean, we were just
fire in the sky. What?
Yeah. We'd seen that movie. We were just stunned because of, this fire shooting out of this thing. And I kind of crept by. I never stopped, and looked. I was driving slow, and I just kind of remember looking over at it as I turned my, truck, because where this gate, you could go right down there where this saucer was sitting, or you could turn left and follow the road out. So we're turning left and following the road out.
The red pill or the blue pill?
Yeah, no, I'm with him, but I wouldn't have been driving slow. I'd have been.
Did you not even think about stopping?
No, I mean, at the time, in my mind, I just, it was just so amazing to see something like that. It was really between being really scared and really excited.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I probably had drove maybe 20 yards, and Kevin looks over at me and he said, "Ben, on that lake." And I said, "You know what that was?" And he said, Yeah, I do." He said, "That was a UFO." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm wanting to get out of here." So the road curves again, like another S curve. And he looks over at me and he said, "You think we ought to go back and shoot at it?" Hell no.
So he had been drinking.
No.
You are true Americans. What is it? I don't know. Let's
think it's
shoot
our
at
duty
it.
to protect our country. Let's go shoot it.
I'm the same way. I grew up on a farm in Kansas, so I understand.
Yeah.
Let's shoot at it first.
We're just a bunch of hillbillies. We like shooting guns.
I'm with
Cut
you.
my pig, will you?
I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't stop and go back and shoot at it?
No, I looked at him and I was like, "Hell no, we're going home." So after we make this S curve, there's a big line of trees, and he starts telling me, "Hey, stop, Ben! You got to see this. You got to see this." And I said, "I don't want to stop, Kevin." I said, "I want to go home. I want to get home. I don't want to see no more." So the road makes another curve and another small curve, and we end up on top of a railroad track, it was like a 3 to 4 foot rise in the road where the railroad track went across. And he finally looks at me and he said, "You stop." He said, "You got to see this." So I stopped the truck and I got out, and this thing was taking up off the lake, lifting up real slow.
You stopped and got out of your truck.
Yeah, on top of the railroad track.
Nice.
Where it humped in the road. I stopped and I got out of my truck. And I grabbed my AR and I benched it across the hood.
Don't you watch any of those alien movies? They only kill people who have weapons. Haven't you seen any of that? Oh, man. You're scaring me.
They would have had a heck of a firefight if they would have took me and him in.
Oh, wow.
But I remember, I benched the rifle across the truck and I turned the scope up as high as it'd go. And I watched this
you
thing
can see it
for
up close.
30, 35 seconds as it went up above the tree level, and it made no noise. I mean, there was not, how like a Harrier jumping jet helicopter, no.
And how far away from
noise.
you was it at this point?
At the point I was on top of the railroad tracks, I would say 300 yards.
Okay.
So
that's a pretty good distance.
Is it still emitting this fire
The
stuff
fire
from
on
the bottom?
side, yeah, but not as bad at this point. It wasn't. To me, it looked like it wasn't shooting, the fire out as bad as it was when it set on the lake. Which leads me to believe somehow they use water as maybe a coolant for their whatever system runs their ship.
Yeah.
Or
fuel.
drink.
Or drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we watch it take up, and it's going above tree level, and I've got my scope on it watching it the whole time. And once it got to cloud level, it was gone. I mean, bam, it just vanished.
Now,
Either it took off.
When you're looking at it through your scope, could you see the texture of the craft? Did it remind you of anything?
Shiny.
I'll tell you guys, it looked like a really kind of bright, like if you Scotch guard like aluminum. It was that color. It was like
windows, markings, stripes, colors.
Markings. Yeah.
It said made in China.
Big stamp right on the side.
Alien markings.
Oh, shoot it!
Yeah.
Shoot it!
A refurbished Yugo or something.
There we go. That's what
There's
it
no VW
was.
logo on the side. Nothing.
We have nothing against
So it was
Chinese
just
goods.
clear.
But
It was
Yeah.
nothing on it.
Well, it was just like I told you, the X pattern of the lights going up
but
and
no
over
markings, nothing other than
nothing
lights.
that I could tell.
Wow.
Through my scope, nothing that I could tell.
Wow.
And I just remember it making no noise, and it gets to cloud level, and bam, it's gone. I mean, just whether it took off so fast that we couldn't see it, or it completely vanished.
blinked
I don't
out.
know to this day.
Man, those
Ben-
devil worshippers have some cool cars.
Yeah, I'd love to have their technology.
Ben, just between you and me, did you squeeze off a round?
No,
Okay.
no,
Just want to
Make
know.
it come back.
I just because you could get their attention, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Now my cousin owns one of them big Barrett 50 calibers, like the Marine Corps
man.
used.
Holy crap.
He's asked me. He said, if you could go back in time and use this big thing on it, would you fire a shot at it? I said, maybe.
Because that
Not
sends a
me.
message of
Maybe.
love right there, doesn't it?
So is that the gun you take with you when you're Bigfoot hunting?
Oh no, it's way too big.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No.
It weighs like 42 pounds.
Oh man.
But and I remember, after that we drove home, and I remember driving. I used it as a farm truck. It was just an old '78 F-150, and I just ran the hell out of it. Just to try and drive as fast as I could go. On the way home, because me and Kevin kept thinking this thing's going to pop up over the top of us.
Yeah. Follow you
and
home.
we had about 5 miles to go to get back to where I was living with my girlfriend at the time. So we just drove as hard as we could, and we got home. And I'll never forget, when we walked in the front door of that trailer, me and Kevin, my girlfriend, looks at us, and she said, "You guys are ghost white pale." She said, "What happened to you?" She said, "Did you come up on a bad wreck, where people got killed? Did you find, these people, somebody dead in a wreck?"
You were in
I
shock.
said, "No." Yeah. I said, "No. We drove up on this UFO." And, she was like, "Really?" And I said, "Well, yeah, look at us." You said, and so we went in the mirror and looked, and I mean, we were ghost white pale guys.
Well, Ben, you're no longer a believer. You're also a knower.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know for a fact,
Yes.
and I've had a lot of people ask me, do you think it was extraterrestrials, or do you think it was a government, that they had reverse engineered technology and was using it? To this day, I don't know what was piloting that thing, but something intelligent. There was some kind of intelligent life piloting this craft.
But it's nothing that you've ever seen before or heard of.
Yeah, I mean, it just. But and we got home, and I remember the whole night. I slept in bed with my girlfriend. I had my pistol laid right on top of my chest because I just knew at some point in the night that door was going to come open and there was going to be an alien there to get me.
Oh, wow.
But,
that's a
it never
bad
happened.
night's rest. That's
yeah.
not a good
I
night.
didn't rest at all. I probably didn't
blame
rest
you.
for 2 or 3 days.
I don't blame you at all.
You ever wondered if maybe the aliens were maybe Bigfoots? Maybe.
I get people, since I do the crypto stuff, I get people ask me all the time, do you think because I've got reports from people saying right after they see a UFO, somebody close by sees a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are they related? I don't know. I really can't comment on that, because to me, and my Bigfoot research that I've done for a long time, I believe Bigfoot to be a descendant of Gigantopithecus.
Really?
He crossed the Bering Land Bridge, migrated through Alaska down through Canada and into North America, and over these tens of thousands of years has evolved and adapted to our climate.
Right. Right.
No, out of all these people who claim that they have videotape of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, skunk ape, whatever they want to call him, who do you think's the most credible? Do you think the
the Patterson-Gimlin film is by far.
Huh. And why do you think that they're the most credible?
The Patterson-Gimlin film,
Mm-hmm.
because it's been broke down so much that if you look at it real close, and on computers, you can actually see the muscles moving underneath the skin. And another thing is the Sasquatch was female because you can see the breast in the film.
I found that interesting.
And they're hairy.
Yeah.
I was slightly turned on for some reason. I don't know. Is that
you like hairy breasts?
I've never had one. Have you?
No, but
is there somewhere you can go for that?
There was this girl in high school. That's
That's another show.
Come on.
It's another paranormal show. Wolfism. Sorry. We're strange here.
The only reason I make correlation between Bigfoot and alien is because nobody has captured one or any really solid, proof, having shot a dead one, whatever, had one right in their hands.
Yes, there is.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Who would
Enlighten
that be?
us.
Yeah.
November 2010.
Okay.
There's a place called the Dixie Game Preserve, and I'm pretty sure it's either in Washington or Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, his last name is Smejda, I think, Justin Smejda.
Yeah.
I can't remember his first name.
I had heard about him.
You've heard about? Okay.
Yeah, but
he supposedly.
Yeah, I heard that he was the whole thing was that they confessed that it was a hoax or something. Is this the guys with the Sasquatch in the freezer and the refrigerator?
No, that was a joke. That guy is
different
fake.
guy.
Biscardi, you mean Tom Biscardi that did the hoax?
You're talking about the one with the juvenile Sasquatch. Is that the one you're talking about? Okay, all right. They shot one.
But apparently, the story goes that I got emailed from a friend of mine, a very reliable source. He had talked to a guy that was there or witnessed it. Apparently, they were hunting during bear season, and a smedged guy seen what he thought was a bear off alongside the road. So he picks up his rifle. He had bear. People's calling him poachers. I can't say that because he did have tags. He was hunting legally.
Yeah.
So he sees what he thinks is a bear off the side of the road. Picks up a 25-06. And he sees this thing kind of stand up and turn around while he pulls the trigger. It goes inside of it, went through both lungs and come out the other side. This thing took I think around 5-6 steps and collapsed dead.
Oh my God.
When he does that, there's 2 juvenile Bigfoots that he did not see, I guess, setting up on like a bridge alongside the road, and he felt threatened. So he racked another round in the chamber and shot one of the juveniles also.
Oh, wow.
Because he said it threatened him. I don't know. Nobody really knows the real story, but...
Yeah, because the story I had read that they had raised the original adult had raised its hands in the air, its arms, and that's why it's like weird that a bear doesn't do that.
I'd heard that too, and why'd the guy fire if it was bear season? Because bears don't put their arms up in there. Hey guys, don't shoot me.
Because it's big, dark, and you have a rifle. That's why you fire.
Yeah. Bears don't do that.
It's not wearing an orange jacket. Shoot it.
No.
Would you shoot one, Ben, if you saw one?
Would I shoot? No. I don't believe
if it threatened you.
You shot it. You wanted to shoot it at an alien spacecraft, but you're not going to shoot Bigfoot?
I want to do that, not me.
Oh, okay. All right. Blame it on your cousin.
That's my cousin that wanted to shoot. No,
of course.
No, I shoot a Bigfoot? Absolutely not, because...
What if it's the only way you could establish the proof? I mean, here it is, especially if it's, let's just assume that it's aggravated at you somehow. You came up on it, and it didn't expect you, and it turned around and seemed like it was attacking you, and, of course, you have a weapon.
Then I'd shoot, yes. Yeah. But if I just observed it and it meant me no harm, no, I would not shoot one because, I just don't believe in killing something just to be killing it.
Mm-hmm.
There's other ways that science can get DNA from these things. You could tranquilize it.
I would actually follow him around the forest for a while and just collect his poop.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Because
that brings up a good question, Ben. What should somebody do if they encounter a Sasquatch?
I would say, because Bruce Barraclough, the team leader and my really good friend in here, went on a Bigfoot investigation in Georgia back in October. And he was looking through a Generation 3 night scope, and he happened to see him. He happened to see one in this tree line, and he could see his eyes glowing. And he sat there. He said in time, it just seemed like time stood still. And he was looking at it, and it was looking straight at him. And it stood up, and he said it was between 7 to 8 feet tall.
Oh,
and he was just in shock looking at it. And he was carrying a .45 on his hip, so I mean he could have shot it, but
I think I'd be so grateful that it wasn't a grizzly. I mean, it's Bigfoot. Yeah. It's not a grizzly. It's not a grizzly. That's what I would be happy about. Anything that large stand up while I'm out in the woods.
Yeah.
A lot of people, ask us that, and they're, you're going to kill Bigfoot. No, we're not. The only reason that we carry weapons in areas like that is for grizzlies or mountain lions.
Mm-hmm.
We're not carrying the guns to go out and purposely kill.
Hopefully,
that's not what we're about.
Primary tool you have is a camera. Huh?
Yeah. And unfortunately, Bruce didn't have a camera.
Yeah.
The guy, he called the guy on a walkie-talkie. By the time the guy got there, it was turning around and walking back in the woods. I think they barely got it, just a glimpse of it walking in the woods. It was at night.
Mm-hmm.
But the next morning, when they went back, they measured the distance, and he was 47 foot away from this Bigfoot, and they were staring at each other for probably a period of about a minute and a half.
That makes you a believer. You're a knower then after that.
Also on that trip, I was supposed to go to that trip with them in Georgia, but some family stuff came up in Kentucky, and I had to be home. I couldn't make it. But Bruce, when they got there, he went out in the woods, and he told them, he just spoke to them and said, "Hey, I'm here. I mean, no harm. We're just wanting to do an investigation." He had a canteen with him, and he said he had Powerade in it. And he said, "Here, I'm giving this to you as a gift." He lifted up the canteen, and took a drink and set it down in the ground and walked. He said, "This is for you. This is a peace offering." Well, he goes back to base camp. Well, the rest of the team come back, I don't know, like 30 minutes later, and they said, "Bruce, did you leave your canteen on the path down to the woods?" And he said, "No, I put it out in the woods." And they said, "Well, it's in the middle of our path with a turtle shell on top of it."
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. I like that.
That is kind of cool, yeah.
I hope that is a Bigfoot experience and not some, hiker who thinks it's cool or somebody playing a trick on
I don't think it was because they were the only people on this private land at the time.
I like that.
And another thing that's cool about the turtle shell is when he got it back, it was the top piece of the turtle shell, and it had been edged, like somebody took a tool and worked it to make it into a dish or a drinking cup.
Wow, tools.
We believe that these Sasquatch just used that turtle shell to drink out of. And since they seen Bruce take a drink out of a canteen, they put his canteen back with what they drink out of as a peace offering to him.
It's like, man, that tastes like metal, man. Here, you need to drink out of this turtle shell.
You savages just drinking out of the canteen.
Jeez.
You don't even use a cup.
Evolve, my God.
I know, evolve, you humans. Hey,
Interesting.
I've often wondered, do you think there's any chance that these Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or whatevers are living in some kind of internal cave system in the planet somehow? Because they don't seem to be found dead anywhere.
And there's no like
they
Bigfoot like
disappear.
houses anywhere really
Yeah,
found.
exactly.
Boy, I tell you, I've got some crazy reports from people, but what I really think, I think they live in like these teepee, either in a cave. I've seen teepee-like structures that we believe they've built out of sticks and limbs. And people always say, "Well, Ben, why don't we ever find a dead body?" Okay, how many times do you go in the woods and see a dead deer body?
Yeah, right.
Not very often, because within a period of 6 to 7 days,
It's gone.
it's naturally decomposing, and plus predators eating on it, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I also believe that the Bigfoot are like us; they bury their dead.
Could be.
Oh.
Yeah, that could be.
So
And that, therefore, also you could, the cave idea that they may bury their dead inside caves like early man did.
Well, and the fact that they have evaded discovery for so long means they must be fairly intelligent.
Yeah.
I believe they're highly intelligent.
Yeah.
And that's what I.
Except they can't take a bath.
Yeah,
figure that one out. And their women have hairy breasts. So.
Well, if they are burying their dead, would that not imply a belief system of an afterlife?
Mm.
I don't know. That's a question I've never been asked. And that's a good one. That's a good possibility.
Well, early man buried their ancestors inside their caves because they did. They were elder worship. They worshipped their ancestors, so they had them close. But you would do that naturally. I think if you had somebody that you really loved and then they died, you don't really want them to be far from you if you're a very primitive person. So you dig a hole and put them in the ground, and their mom's just like underneath the furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or my
Mom's
ex-wife.
a couch now.
Yeah. How that works. Okay.
Sophie the sofa.
And just for example, I get a lot of crazy reports, and probably the craziest one I got, for an example, I got an email one time from a lady that said, Bigfoot, how do I get rid of Bigfoot? He's been harassing me. And so, I talked back to her. I said, well, how's he harassing you? She said, he just comes into my house whenever he wants to and eats my food and sits on my couch. And then she went on to say that he followed her at work and he bothered her at
followed her work.
Supposedly, yeah. She worked at a courthouse, and supposedly he followed her to the courthouse and harassed her and wouldn't leave her alone while she's working. Followed her to the bathroom, followed her back home. Then he'd come in her house and eat all her food.
Did anybody else see this?
And can we get her number?
I don't know her
I'd like
number.
to talk to her. Wow.
But,
so what advice do you give somebody
She
who
must
gives you
know
that
where
story?
to get good drugs.
In the courthouse.
What advice do you
disposal department at the
That's
courthouse.
right,
Man, that's easy.
She said
Antipsychotic pills.
There you go.
He said that he could make himself invisible in the courthouse.
Oh, there you go.
And only her can see him. So
there you go.
She said,
That's like the
what should I
Predator,
do?
right? In the Predator movies.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
he
thought.
cloaks
When she told me, I
himself.
was like, I think she's watched Predator one too many times.
Yeah. The problem is, you told us your story about the alien craft and that sort of thing, and I completely believe you. Okay. And but when a woman who says that Sasquatch follows her around, goes into the courthouse with her, and he can make himself invisible, that's almost equally unbelievable.
No,
right?
it's not.
Yeah.
No,
but it is.
It's not equally unbelievable.
It's
no.
not. You don't
No.
think it's possible that she could have a Sasquatch that is invisible? He has
Anything is
invisibility?
possible, but no.
It's more likely that an alien could exist.
Yes. Then one woman seeing Bigfoot cloak himself, and she's still the only one that can see him. Yes.
Where millions of people have seen UFOs.
True.
And there's more than
not
one
the only
person
one
that
I've
witnessed his UFO experience. So
All right.
No,
Okay. I'm a little more gullible. I
It is
guess.
not equivalent.
All right. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Now that we're done arguing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another weird UFO sighting I had. We was living here at another house where we had an in-ground pool and I was in a hot tub, and I was sitting in the hot tub one afternoon, and I just kind of looked up to the sky and I seen what looked like, I can best describe it as a Roman candle. It looked like a saucer turned upside down and flying around shooting sparks out of it. Not flat and spinning, but up on its side like a Roman candle going around.
You know why?
And fire coming out of it like a wheel.
Mm-hmm.
It's because somebody's cousin took a shot at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe my cousin went back that night. I don't know.
Was this
I
later?
didn't go check
That
on
50
after I got home.
cal?
I
Yeah.
just went to sleep on the couch.
That'll make them freak out.
We came back with something a little bit better.
No, I'm
That's
sorry.
it.
Go ahead.
That I've seen that too, and there was a lot of activity. After that UFO sighting I had, I told my mom and dad about it, and they were really supportive because Mom and Dad said they'd been out. They got up early at the time, and they'd go out and get in our in-ground pool and swim in the morning. And they said there on several occasions they had seen, you know, 1 or 2 UFOs fly over with like a spotlight shining down.
Wow.
So
Now, that might be the
Illinois,
government. I don't know. They have the black
I don't know.
helicopters that are quiet and they just fly over
That could be.
areas of our country to protect us.
Yeah, and spy on people skinny dipping. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, did you feel safe?
That's your parents must be really hot.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
I was still asleep at that time.
La 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 la. I can't hear you. Okay.
They're in the pool. Turn off the lights. Go to
Yeah.
sleep. All right, gotcha.
But, you know, they've seen it. And I don't know if it's something, because right here where I'm at in Southern Illinois is all, we actually live, the house I'm in now, 50 foot out my back door. We live on a big strip cut where the mines, you know, we mined it out and it's filled with water.
Oh.
Where we're at is all strip mine land and it's turned into giant lakes.
Wow.
And they're seen here quite often. That's why it leads me to believe that they use the water somehow as maybe a coolant or you know, a fuel.
What did they mine there?
Every time I've ever seen one, it's always close. It's always really close to some kind of big lake strip cut.
What kind of mining do they do there?
Strip mines. You know,
what are they looking
there was
for?
no underground. They're all pretty much closed down now. But they've you know, they stripped out all the mines.
Copper,
You know, all
whatever
these
it
big cuts
is,
they get
gold,
filled up with water.
Right.
Wow.
They could also be using the water as a place to hide too during the day.
You know, that could be. But from my research, what I've studied on them, I've heard that there is a thing called Element 115 that the government can synthesize. They got this technology from down to alien spacecraft, and whatever this Element 115 is what powers. It enables these UFOs to bend space and time and go so far and so fast in the amount of time they do.
Wow, I have a new name for a new sports drink. I'll tell you that.
115.
115.
So you theorize maybe they synthesize this through water or something?
That's what, you know, the research I've done, and that it leads me to believe that they're using water. Maybe that this Element 115 burns so hot that they use it as a coolant, or maybe it's something that helps break down Element 115 to turn it into the fuel they use.
Wow.
But, you know, I talked to a lot of people, too, that's seen them on lakes, and it's always close to water. Like you said, maybe they use, you know, maybe they dive underwater.
Yeah, and just hide there during the day.
I think the Earth is like a galaxy bar. You know, they all
think?
come here and they
Yeah.
settle down in the lakes, have a few drinks, a few laughs, cut up some hogs, and then we're off to space again. Right?
Cow blood? Anybody? Cow blood? You got
It's
fresh
the
cow
party
blood?
planet. Come to Earth. You know, they don't care we're here.
And for tonight's entertainment, we're going to abduct that little blonde girl again.
There we go.
And probe her.
Impregnate her.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Crazy.
Yeah.
So how has
And,
this changed your life?
Well, you know, I was always in to studying UFOs, cryptozoology ever since I was a kid. And after having this experience with the UFO, I really got into it. I started buying books, you know, researching it, you know, doing field research. And then I spent a lot of time with my cousin in Geneva, Kentucky, which is just outside of Henderson. And it is on the Ohio River bottoms. You know, sometimes it floods so bad you can't get back in there. The people that do live out there have their houses up on stilts because it floods so bad.
Wow.
And there's a road back there called Klondike Road, and there has been many, many sightings of Bigfoot on Klondike Road.
Oh. Do they have a name for him there? A different name?
No, just Sasquatch or Bigfoot. I've never, you know, Bart Nunley, which he's a very good friend of mine. He's wrote 3 books and done a documentary movie. He lives right there in Henderson. And him and Charlie Raymond, they do a really good job of investigating in Kentucky. And he's got tons of reports. Just actually over this summer, it really, really blew up in June, July, August of Bigfoot sightings back in Geneva and the Geneva bottoms. years ago, just like, 96, 7, we were back there bow fishing. I don't know if you guys ever done that, but
No, but
you can stand alongside the road where you have a bow with a rod and reel and shoot fish and reel them in.
right on.
We heard the awfulest howl, scream we'd ever heard in our life. And I was just like, I looked at Kevin and I said, I don't know what that is. He said, I don't either. He said, but I don't want to stick around here. And,
Back
about
in the
40
truck.
yards,
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About
Oh.
40 yards off in the brush, I heard limbs breaking about 7 foot high, and just sounded like a massive thing coming through the woods, just snapping limbs and twigs and stuff off. So, we got out of there,
Yeah.
and I knew, I said, man, I guarantee that's a Bigfoot back in there. And this is before the days of internet where I could contact people, and, before there was really a way to get, spread information, and contact other people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I never got a chance to actually see him, but I heard him coming through the woods.
Wow. Before you saw the alien craft on the lake, had you seen UFOs in the sky prior to that? Had you had any kind of experience?
No, actually, I never seen it. Okay, I take that back. Yes, I did. I was out coyote hunting by myself one night.
You really like to kill shit, don't you? I mean, there's a little pattern.
What the hell else do you do? Jeez.
No, I'm a
big
country
hunter.
boy. I understand. I'm just
Yeah,
there seemed to be a little
we had
pattern
cattle
forming
killed.
here. Go ahead.
We had cattle and wild dogs kill so many of our calves. I'd go out there at night, and they'd come in. I'd shoot them to keep them from killing any more of our calves.
Yeah.
And I was laying on top of a hill one night, and I remember it was about this time. It was bitter, freezing cold in the winter, and I seen something fly over. It wasn't making any noise, and it shined it was shining like a light down. And I was starting to think, well, it's a helicopter, just spotlighting the ground, but it would just make too many erratic patterns. It'd go forward, then like left, then back at an angle, then east, then back west, just making erratic patterns, shining this light down.
How far away was it from you? Do you guesstimate?
I would say it was probably, it ranged because it kept moving back and forth. I would say before it left, I would say anywhere from the closest it got to me was probably 250 yards and out to 1,000. But it was high enough in the air, I couldn't make out anything but the light on it. And then the light finally went out and it was gone. But that's the only, before I seen it, that one sitting on the lake, that's the only sighting I'd ever had before that.
Because, you've stated before that after that lake experience, now when you look up into the sky, you see them quite often.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen, like I told you, that Roman candle looking one. I've seen one. It looked like a cigar-shaped one with something hanging underneath. I think it was like a smaller one attached underneath of it.
Wow.
And, it was just going real slow. So at the time, I had a Cobra Mustang. I turned around, and it was on just a long stretch of just desolate road, and this thing started going faster. So I started going faster to keep up with it. And by the time I was running probably 120, 130, it just took off and was gone.
Oh, my God. Wow. You don't smoke Marlboros, do you? It's like you've got the car, the rifle, the hunting, the Marlboro man.
The man's man.
Every once in a while when I'm, somebody else is smoking, I'll smoke a Marlboro.
He's like a social smoker. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. But,
wow.
Now I really, I like I said, I was home in Kentucky, and me and my girlfriend and my little sister were sitting in the hot tub one night. I kept looking up in the sky, and there was a really bright star, and I just kept staring at it. And asked my little sister, she's like, "What are you looking at?" And I said, "That light up there." And she said, "That's no UFO, Ben. You don't pay attention to that." But, the light went out, whatever it was. I didn't see it move, but it was super bright that night, brighter than the other stars, and it vanished. So, I don't know. Anymore, I always watch the sky after I've seen that.
Yeah, and you live in a place where there's not a city lights or anything nearby, so you get a nice dark sky at night.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
beautiful.
That's awesome. We have a moon.
We have a. Doesn't he have a moon in Kentucky?
He doesn't have a moon.
Well, he's got a moon and everything else. We've got a moon.
Yeah.
Oh.
We got moonshine.
Yeah. Now he's talking our language.
We moon the train as it goes by.
Well, as a kid growing up in Kansas, I remember just being out in the fields at night like that too. And there was no cities for miles, and so the sky was just so black and the stars were so bright, and I was just overwhelmed by them. And I think that's why people don't look up.
Yeah.
They don't look up. And now when you start doing research, you can't help but look up. And now you start to see all these things. And is it spooky to you? Are you worried about our future?
No. You know, I don't really see them. You know, I get different stories about, you know, there's reptoids that look like reptilian people. And then there's the grays, you know, with the big, you know, that really the one everybody sees with the kind of the rounded almond head with the big black eyes. I would think if they meant us harm, that
it would have happened by now.
They would already done something.
Yeah.
So Ben, let's get. You said you had some other crypto stuff. What other kinds of things are you researching besides
more
Bigfoot?
monsters?
Hopefully, I mean, this summer with the Bruce Barraclough and the NEAR team and Barton Nunley from Kentucky. I don't know if you guys ever heard the story of the Beast, the LBL, like a land between the lakes.
No, I haven't.
It's right outside of Paducah, Kentucky, and like it's just ground in between Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley, and it's a National State Forest Preserve. Supposedly, there is this dog man out there. Dog man? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got Bart Nunley's book sitting right here in front of me right now, where he's got, was telling about it. It from the reports that people have given, it looks very similar to, your typical Bigfoot, except it's got pointed ears and a muzzle, or whereas Bigfoot's, face is flat like ours and has a regular mouth. This thing has like what looks like a dog muzzle.
That sounds like more werewolfy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that, there was a story that, we've been told around here that back in the 80s, there was a family of four. It was a mom, a dad, a little boy, and a little girl in the 80s, and they were camping in LBL, the Land Between the Lakes area. Well, this lady, I'm going to leave her name out because after all this come out, we don't know if she just made it. I know she took her website down after a documentary film was shot about it. Supposedly she was working at a gas station real close to this LBL area. And two local cops come in that night, and she said they just looked scared to death. Like they'd seen the devil or something. I mean, just scared out of their minds. And she said, "What happened?" And they said, "You wouldn't believe us if we told you." And she said, "Yeah, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, midnight, something." And they proceeded to tell her that they got called out on a murder scene in LBL. They had found the mom and dad and the boy inside the trailer, ripped to pieces with like 5 claw marks, like a human hand with claws, but only, way wider and bigger, and bite marks in the body. It slaughtered these 3 people. And there was a daughter that was missing. So they went back looking for her, and about 100 yards or so back in the woods, they found what was left of her body hanging from a tree. And she'd been half eaten and clawed to pieces too.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
But not wild animal.
No. And if this story's true, it's kind of hard to believe, but
well, it's very not very typical Sasquatch Bigfoot behavior.
Yeah.
No, that's why I've
Usually
discussed
passive.
this with Bart, and we believe that Dogman is a completely different species of Bigfoot. A lot of people says no, it's a Bigfoot just with a muzzle. No, because I don't believe the Sasquatch means us any harm. Matter of fact, I think they're friendly, but these Dogmen, they're not.
More aggressive.
Have there been any other sightings of this Dogman or any other incidents like that?
Oh.
Yeah, there's been several sightings of this Dogman in LBL.
Oh. What about this place would make it so special for this creature? Is there places for it to hide there that?
LBL. I mean, it's Land Between the Lakes is it's just woods and tracks where you can like ride 4-wheelers and horses.
How many acres are we talking? Are we talking 1,000 miles?
Thousands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
and supposedly where it lived at one time, this woman related to Bart, and he did a documentary, Hunt the Dog Man, a film about it. Supposedly, she'd seen it several times, and it was living in this old, dilapidated kind of like barn way back out there.
Did it build or just took over?
It just took over.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it was just an old dilapidated. I'm thinking it was like an old mining shack that they probably used for mining back then, and that's where it stayed. It dug holes in there where it could go down in it. Is how the story's been related to me, and we're planning on this spring. Here and myself and Bart Nunley and hopefully J.C. Johnson. I believe I just talked to him on the phone today. We're all planning on doing an investigation, the LBL, like an over the night, a weekend deal.
That'd be fun.
And yeah,
That would be
and
fun,
see-
you said?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you hear what happened to that family?
Yeah. I don't want to find him. No.
Yeah.
I'm different,
I'll
though.
keep
Those
the
things
truck
don't
warm.
happen to me.
Not yet. But you haven't spent any time in LBL.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, I mean, it's beautiful down there. I mean, it's just hills and lakes, and it's really nice. But there's been so many reports of people seeing this thing in LBL.
And how big is it?
They're saying it's around 7 foot tall, 400, 450 pounds.
Oh, man.
Because of
Holy
the
cow.
impression tracks it leaves in the ground. I've seen impressions people have sent me. Actually, one really good one. This was up in, I believe, Michigan. A lady sent me this. Its paw print was in the snow, and she had a Mastiff. And you know how big Mastiff dogs
Yeah,
get.
they're big.
They get huge. I mean, close to 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, her Mastiff had stepped right beside that print, and this dog print was like 4 to 5 times bigger than this Mastiff print.
Holy crap.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, we're talking a pretty good sized animal.
Once again, time to get back in the truck.
Yeah. You may need to bring that 50 cal.
Lock the door.
Yeah, Desert Eagle probably.
That's a good idea.
There's probably all
That's
kinds
what
of animals out there, though, that we really haven't discovered yet that, may be
Sure.
endangered or, almost extinct. Or
That's a great example, guys, of the thylacine, or people call it Tasmanian tiger. It was a species that lived in Tasmania and Australia. What it looked like a dog, but had the stripes of a tiger on its back. And it was the only other marsupial that I know of and studied, like a kangaroo, it carried its young in a pouch, the female did, underneath of it.
really?
Oh.
Yeah, and there's videos of them in a zoo, and they're saying the last one died off in 1936, and that was the last one to be alive.
Wow.
But I believe I was reading today an article that was sent to me. They have got, I believe it was close to 400 reports in the past 4 or 5 years of people seeing the thylacine again.
Huh.
And I mean, a lot of them are credible reports. A lot of them are park rangers, that said it run across their path at night. And I was discussing this with Bruce the other day, and he said, "Well, Ben, do you think there was a few left and they bred and brought the population back. Or he said, here's something else to think about. And this really got me thinking, because he's right. In this day and age, have they extracted the DNA from an old thylacine and cloned it?
And a science experiment gone mad.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park all over again.
Well, they did the sheep thing, right? And they can't do people, so that's not cool. So nobody's going to complain if we're going to do an extinct creature, right?
Yeah.
Well,
so there you go.
If you're creating T-Rexes and setting them loose, I got a problem with that. Yeah.
Cute doggies with pouches for their babies. That sounds sweet.
I don't know if I'm down with that.
But I guess the Tasmanian devil sound may not be. Is the devil? Did he earn his name, Devil?
The Tasmanian devil?
Yeah. Is that what this creature is? Did he earn that name?
No, it's the Tasmanian tiger.
Tiger. I'm sorry.
Because if you look up Tasmanian tiger, Google it, and on Wikipedia, they have, there's museums over there that have specimens, and there's even actual video footage from like 1933 of a pair of thylacines at a zoo walking
Is he scary
around.
looking? Is it scary looking?
No, they're only about they're about 2 to 3 feet high, and they can weigh anywhere from around 40 to 60 pounds. So they're not a really big, dog, whatever. They're not
like a jackal or something, maybe. Huh?
Yeah, kind of like a jackal.
Wow, interesting.
So, and there's just been reports pouring out of Australia and Tasmania that credible witnesses, police officers, park rangers are seeing this thing again.
Wow, that's cool.
Do I believe it's out there? Yeah. Whether there was enough left that didn't die off, that they were breeding, or like Bruce said, did they clone it?
Yeah, could be.
Either way, I'm pretty sure they're out there again.
So, what is your favorite cryptoid?
My favorite cryptoid. Wow. I'm going to have to go with the Beast LBL, the dog man like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've heard Linda Godfrey. She's wrote the book Beast of Bray Road about the Michigan werewolf dog man. She's wrote several books about that. She's been on Monster Quest.
Yeah.
That's probably.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say the Loch Ness Monster, Ben.
No. And speaking of Loch Ness Monster, a good friend of mine, he lives in the UK, and I'm writing an article right now for him about my UFO experience. Well, he went to Scotland on vacation, and he just sent me a package that had a bunch of stuff about the Loch Ness Monster in it.
Oh.
So, it's pretty cool. I'm really not into the water, animals. But
they're pretty hard to shoot with a 50 cal.
But you still have the fishing bow, and that's important.
Just in case.
I don't think that would even.
Swallows you down.
It's like shooting the 50 cal at the spacecraft. It's gonna be like, bing.
Yeah.
Well, there's always been those stories with sailors and whatnot about these huge giant squids that had attacked ships and pulled them under and so on and so forth. And everyone thought that was mythology and that's impossible and yada yada. And now, of course, with our modern science, they have found at least tentacles of these giant squid that could possibly be the length of an entire sailing ship. So who knows what's out there?
We don't know. That's exactly right. I mean, we haven't even covered. I would say 80% of the ocean is unexplored because it's so deep.
Right.
Exactly.
Who knows what lives in there? And could a plesiosaur have survived and gotten into the lock, a pair and breeded, and I believe it's possible.
Well, I think you're right about the ocean, and I've heard the figures is like closer to 10% of the ocean has been explored, which makes me, why are we spending billions of dollars to go see space and go look at Mars? I don't even know it's in my own ocean.
Yeah, and exactly. And we're spending stuff, to send people off into space. I'm with you. I think we ought to spend more time, investigating this stuff.
Exactly. The statistic I heard is it was more expensive to explore, and more difficult
crazy.
and more technologically challenging to explore the deep oceans.
I think
than
they're
it is
working with the
space.
aliens to keep us out of the water.
It could be.
Yeah,
There we go.
because in the fuel they spend to go into space, I would think would be, almost quadruple the money it would take to explore the ocean.
Right.
One would think.
Yeah, and if your ship blows up, we might be able to save you if you go down to the ocean.
Well, if you think about it, though,
There's no rescue
a
in space.
spacecraft really, there isn't much to a spacecraft. I mean, the lunar lander wasn't much more than tinfoil on like a balsa wood. It wasn't much really at all. And to go into the deep oceans, you're talking about really incredible temperatures and pressures, and it is a lot harder actually to go down there.
I still want to know.
Yeah, but you think they could send down a drone? Pilot, something like that down there.
Or
As a
some
matter of
terrorists.
fact-
Let's take the people from Guantanamo
Exactly.
Bay.
Yeah.
Put them
Send
in
them
those
down there.
You
little
want
tubes.
a challenge? Here you go, pal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to rot in prison?
Change the world from down there.
Yeah, some of these terrorists, that
There
we
we
got
go.
captured, and we're spending our tax dollars to feed them because they're in prison. No, send them by the ocean.
Yeah, there you
Yes,
go.
Go and send them down there.
Or into space.
There's
What the
no
hell?
ethical
Yeah,
or
or in
moral
space.
problem
Send
with
them to the
that.
moon.
We don't need to test with
I want to
Nazi
know if
like they did.
Apollo 18 was
Yeah.
actual stuff, man. Is there really
Oh,
creepy
no.
spider
I was
things
watching
living on the
Apollo
moon?
18.
Oh, did you?
What'd you think?
Yes,
Did you hear Jason?
I thought it was an awful show.
I agree.
It's a consensus.
Yeah, I thought it was terrible.
Although I think there's probably about 1% truth in it, maybe.
There could, and they could have done another mission, that we don't know about. And the government does so much stuff. Like, look at Area 51. You can't even get close to that place.
I was just by there. I
Yeah,
was in Rachel,
unless you're
Nevada, just a
hungry and
couple
you can
weeks
get
ago.
a hamburger
Yep,
right next to the
right
gate.
there at the Alien. Yep.
I've always seen that
Alien.
place on TV, the Alien Inn.
Yeah,
Whatever,
I was
that
there
restaurant.
just a couple
You've
of weeks
been there.
ago. Yep,
Yeah, Jason took pictures and everything.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I've always, I'm going to eventually. I got a good friend, which I would say he is probably, without a doubt in my mind, the best field cryptozoologist in this country, J.C. Johnson, and he lives in New Mexico. So I'm planning on going out there and doing an
We're
investigation
going to
with
write
him
that
over the
name
summer.
down.
J.C. Johnson.
Yes,
Good.
that J.C. Johnson is.
New Mexico.
He's big into skinwalkers.
Oh, another
the
favorite topic
Indian
of ours.
Indian shaman that can supposedly, put on the coat of a bear, or more commonly, the most common, a wolf, and turn into shapes using black magic.
Oh, right on.
And he's got some great videos on YouTube. Crypto Four Corners is the name of his company. And on YouTube, he's got some great videos of some investigation he's done. And not to let too much out of the bag, but he got there was a rabbit that ran in this, probably a 10-foot long piece of PVC pipe, and this thing stuck its hand through it, both hands, and busted through there to get this rabbit out and eat it. Well, when it did, it cut itself, and it left some tissue samples, and he sent these tissue samples off to get a DNA test, and I think there's going to be some really, really surprising results. I'll just say that coming back.
Cool. All right.
Oh, you haven't heard the results?
He's teasing you.
Oh, is it
No.
a teaser? That's I hate you now.
Yeah,
I hate this.
Someday we'll know.
I thought I was out of that after junior high. I'm sick of that.
I was on the phone with him about 3 hours ago, and he said first of the year. He said expect the first of the year. Hopefully
Oh, good.
Awesome.
be done.
And the
That's
results
baby
right after
shooting
this commercial
car.
break.
Yeah, that's what,
Yeah. Maybe you can do it during a Super Bowl commercial.
There you
there we
go.
go. I will disclose. Wow.
I really think he's going to come back with some great evidence from this tissue sample he sent off. And like I said, you can check these videos out of that on YouTube, Crypto Four Corners. And
Cool.
he's got some really good videos of investigations. He works a lot with the Navajo people out there, which, they have Indian shamans, and, the skinwalkers are just the ones that's turned bad and use black magic.
That was something I was
Oh.
going to ask you, too, was did the Indians have any kind of lore on Bigfoot? Do they have a name?
Oh,
for it?
sure.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean, they've got cave paintings. and drawings like on old buffalo hide of of Bigfoot from hundreds of years ago. There's cave paintings of Bigfoot, and it's been passed down in Indian lore for hundreds of years.
Yeah, I had actually even read that the word Sasquatch was a name for Indian. Bigfoot, but it's a name used by a tribe of Indian that doesn't exist anymore.
Really?
So the language that Sasquatch comes from isn't used anymore, but we still have that word passed down.
No,
I'm a liar. Thank you. Oh, or did you say
that was a really good story, Rob?
Thank you.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. It may
Tell us
be.
a real story, Ben.
It may be. Is there a real story
about the skinwalker?
No, Sasquatch.
About how where did the name Sasquatch come from?
Yeah, I don't know how that name come about. I've heard some Indians call them Skookum. Skookum. I've heard them called Yahweh, I believe. But Skookum is definitely one of the Indian terminology for Sasquatch.
Interesting.
In Mormon folklore, they have 3 guys that are supposedly walking on the planet continuously. And they're supposed to be very giant guys, big guys, 10 feet tall kind of guys, called the 3 Nephites.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. And there's a lot of lore locally here where people will see them here and there, but I don't know if they've ever been confused with a Bigfoot.
Yeah. Now, I don't know. That's something, I need to look into and ask JC about that because, like I said, he lives out in New Mexico and he works a lot on reservations.
Have him Google 3 Nephites.
Yeah.
There you go. Google the 3 Nephites. That's it's an interesting story. It's a
3 Nephites.
3 Nephites. Yeah.
So Ben, does your group do they do any kind of paranormal investigating as well, or?
Oh yeah. I mean, Bruce and some of the group just did an old abandoned hospital on Staten Island, just maybe 3-4 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, they were mainly into just the ghost stuff, and then I got with them, and Bruce was really a skeptic about Sasquatch and that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he went down to Georgia, and like I said, I was supposed to have gone with him, but I had some family stuff to handle in Kentucky that weekend. I couldn't make it. He got hooked up with a guy named Jan Allen, who's very famous in Georgia. He's been doing Bigfoot research for, like 40-something years.
Wow.
So, yeah, and that's where, he was with him and a couple other members of our team, and that's where he had his encounter, was in Georgia.
So have you ever had any ghost encounter? Or?
Well, I'll tell you, I was living, this has probably been 8 or 9 years ago. I was living in a house. Actually, I was staying with my grandpa, and it was just me and him there. My grandma had passed away, and a guy comes by, one of his buddies, and my grandpa brought home a couple swords from World War II and he brought home a really cool patch that's rare. He brought home a rising sun flag that they took down from a base they took over, and the Japanese commander signed it and give it to my grandpa as as saying I surrender, a peace offering.
Wow.
Well, I knew very collectible. And I knew he had a regular issue officer's samurai sword. Well, one day, his buddy brings this old family sword back to him. And I never had a clue that he even had brought this thing home. Well, he gets this in the house, and weird things start happening right after that. I mean, I'd come in the house, and I'd walk down the hallway through the kitchen, and there was like 3 lights. And it started off, I'd walk under one, it'd go out, come back on, I'd walk under the second one, it'd go off, come back on, walk on the third one, it'd go off and come back on.
Trippy.
And yeah, at the point, I just kind of blew it off as I had.
Once again, back in the truck.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know, I just kind of blew it off as but something's wrong. You know, he's got a short or something in it, and then the TV would turn on and off on its own. And that was I was like, man, that's weird. The TV turned itself on and off, and we were sitting out. Me and my buddy was sitting on the porch one night, and he went in the house to use the bathroom. He comes back out and he says, Ben, he said, you got a sword? I said, yeah, I got a couple. Why? Because I just heard a sword come out of its sheath. The noise it makes when you pull a sword out of its sheath. He said, I just heard. He said, who's in the house? And I said, nobody. I said, just me and my grandpa lives there at the time. And I said, there's no way. He said, I heard it. I heard it plain as day. And, I just kind of blew it off. And then one night when I was sleeping, I was sleeping in the bed. And you remember how they got the old style wooden headboards that are connected to the frame?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, this one was kind of loose. It would move 5 or 6 inches. I was sleeping one night, and that headboard flew up so hard it hit me in the back of the head and woke me up. And I mean, it hurt. It left a knot on my head.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Tighten that up.
Yeah, I did after that. Yeah.
Wow, it got your attention.
Yeah, and
this is the Japanese sword you're talking about, right?
This is the family. I have
the family
issue. And this sword was used as a family. How the samurai pass them down. So I'm sure this sword had probably killed people before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the history on it. Like I did, the other sword's just an officer's, kind of decoration piece, high-ranking officer.
But they were both Japanese officer swords. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they both were. But it wasn't until this family, that had been custom built, like for a family, come back, that this stuff started happening. Well, the headboard hit me in the head, like I said that night. I was just, what in the hell? And I'm kind of getting scared after that. Then I'd say it was about a week later. My buddy, he would come in the morning and kick the end of the bed to wake me up. Hey, he'd come in, hey Ben, get up, let's go do something. He'd always kick the end of my bed. Well, I felt the end of my mattress get kicked so hard the mattress come up on one side, and I was just like, man, I'm too tired. I don't want to get up and go yet. And I never heard a response, never heard nothing. Looked up, there was nobody there. Looked over at my clock, and it was 3:33 in the morning, and that is, from what I've read, supposed to be the witching hour.
3:33.
Yes.
I thought it was 6:66. Oh, you can't.
No.
Do that.
It's supposed to be the mocking of the Trinity, something. I've read.
Wow.
Don't do that to me.
Whatever.
I'm highly suggestible. I'll go to sleep tonight, and my eyes will pop open at 3:33.
No, it's going to
Damn,
happen.
Ben, you
suck. I will be cursing you, Ben.
You begin an
Sorry.
email tomorrow.
Yeah. But whatever this was had enough force to hit me in the back of the headboard and then kick my bed into my bed so hard that the mattress flew up and woke me up.
Wow.
So how'd you stop it?
After I moved out.
Yeah, into the truck.
I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Back into the truck.
I was right in the beginning.
That good old truck, man. That saved your ass a few times.
Just a few.
Yeah, I got the hell out of there after that, And
so what is it, Ben? What do you think it is?
What do I think it was? I believe it was some kind of spirit attached to that sword.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever watched that show about John Zaffis, the haunted. He collects haunted items.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
I haven't either.
I believe him. I believe that there was something associated with that sword.
Well, what's interesting about the Japanese swords that they used in World War II, the officer swords, what it was particularly interesting is that they had a shortage of swords, so they asked all the citizenry, please donate your family swords. Some of them were hundreds of years old, and they were taken and cut short to make an officer sword and put a new hilt on it, and then they used them. And so some of these swords are ancient and extremely valuable.
Well, the story that my grandpa told me with this sword, he helped the family. He was with Merrill's Marauders, that Special Ranger Brigade during World War II, and he helped the family get out of Burma. And in return, to show honor to him, they give him their family heirloom sword,
beautiful,
plus a little katana that it matched it in a sheath. It was in a wooden scabbard, just like the sword. It was identical copy, but shorter, and then it had a Harry knife in it, where the Japanese, if they think they dishonored somebody, they used this Harry knife to kill themselves with.
Wow.
So,
thank God they didn't win the war. That'd be a hell of a way to end a business deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You screwed up.
Yeah.
Harry knife.
Yeah, I like the American way better. Sue him.
Bankruptcy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, bankruptcy. So did you just leave the sword? I hope not.
No, actually, I got the sword right here in my house put up.
Oh. And it's not bothering you now at your house?
My grandpa passed away, and I've got all that stuff. I have it here. No, the house I live in now, it's new, and
no problem.
It's never really done anything.
Okay.
I actually think, now I'm not the expert on ghosts that Bruce Barraclough is, or Lucille Emmert, she's a great member of our team too, and she's Indian. I'm not an expert on that stuff, but I do believe that if there's fighting, bickering, any kind of bad emotions, it will make like an evil spirit even more powerful.
You know, in that thought, then House of Prostitution would probably attract angels. Because isn't that like this? Isn't that just the exact opposite? I mean, is there something horrible has to happen and then the evil spirits come? But never mind.
Yeah.
It's just my thought process. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I'm an angel coming down here to fix something,
well, there's a lot of happy energy, I would assume.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
No, angels don't have free will anyway. So
that's right.
They just
No free
do what
will.
they're told.
That's right. You have to leave that to the gypsies.
Yes.
So, Ben, what do you got coming up for yourself?
I believe 2012 is going to be a great year for me in there.
Unless it ends, at least till December, right?
Yeah.
December 21st, that's when we got to.
It's our last year, but it's going to be one hell of a year.
My kids are going to be very disappointed because I'm not going to spend any money for next Christmas.
Yeah.
I know. Hey, it doesn't matter. It's going to be over.
And it'll be the end of the world one way or the other at Warren's house, right?
Hopefully we go out with a bang.
Yeah.
Hopefully near, and another guy, Abe Del Rio. He runs MNBRT, Minnesota Bigfoot Research Team. Great guy. He's a great guy, and near, we kind of work closely with MNBRT also. So I think 2012 is going to be a good year for me and near and MNBRT too. But hopefully we can do a lot of group investigations. I know during the spring, Bruce is coming down, and we're going to do a Sasquatch investigation in Geneva Bottoms, where there's real high activity, and probably Hedwardsville, Kentucky, where there's a lot of activity. Hopefully we get to bring Bart Nunley along, because he's been a great influence on me with his books he wrote, and being from the same area I have. So I got to thank Bart.
That's awesome.
For his books.
Right on.
Him and J.C. Johnson and, Bruce Barraclough, them three, I got to thank them for everything they've done for me, because they've really helped me out in the crypto world. They're great guys. And Abe Del Rio from MNBRT, hell of a good guy. I mean, with them, they've really helped me get going. So I think 2012 is going to be a really good year for Near, and probably MNBRT also. So,
well, keep in touch. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, keep us updated
too. Yeah.
If you get any good evidence, make sure you get a hold of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep in touch for sure.
We'll be first on this list. I'm sure. Let's call those guys.
You're part of the Truth Theorem family now. So.
There we go.
Whether you like it or not.
Yes.
I'll for sure stay in contact with y'all. Thanks. And update you on anything we do in our research. But with the weather being bad now, it's just
it's a
and Bruce
springtime
New York. But after the spring breaks, and it thaws out and it's nice. We've got a lot of good stuff lined up.
Cool. All right.
Well, we're excited to hear about it. I want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Thanks a lot.
Ben
Peveler.
Peveler.
Well, thank
right?
you guys.
I'm saying it right now, right? Peveler, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Peveler.
Ben
It's
Peveler.
an honor to be on your show, y'all. Thanks
Thank you very
thanks
much for
having me
being on our
here.
show. Yeah, you've the perfect guest for us. You got a little bit of everything. That's
Yeah,
what we're all
yeah.
about. Yep.
Yeah. I've had a little bit of everything, so.
All right.
Thanks
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, thanks, Ben, and it's been a pleasure. And stay
Yeah.
tuned, and we will be right back with more here on Truth Serum Radio.
Truth Serum Radio.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Doc, you disintegrated Einstein. Calm down, Marty. I didn't do anything. I just sent him into the future. 2 hours into the future, to be exact. Whoa, this is heavy, Doc. Why'd you do that? So we could get the first copy of the show Truth Theorem Radio on MP3 download, with the hosts Rob, Warren, and Jason. Well, he could have just waited, Doc. I mean, after the show, you can get it on MP3 download on truththeoremradio.com without any trouble. Great Scott!
Are you still hiding there in the darkness? It is time now for you to go. Go to truththeoremradio.com. Go now, or be condemned to the darkness forever. Wait, what? Is this right? Dark. It is? Call my mom. I gotta go.
And what the hell is that smell? I could have been at a barbecue!
This is so nuts. I mean, listen to what you're saying. It's paranoid delusion. It's really sad.
And we are back.
Wow, what a great interview with Ben. That was awesome.
What a good guy.
I know, he's all over the place. He's our kind of guest.
He's
That's
the
right.
guy I want to go Bigfoot hunting with.
With the 50 cal.
That's what.
I want to shoot that 50 cal.
If I was going to go Bigfoot hunting,
and
I'd be with the gun.
UFOs, man. I want to be out there. Bam, bam.
No, you're on your own there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, he won't
you're not
shoot.
going to take a UFO out with a 50 cal.
No, I know, but it'd be
You'll just
fun.
make it look like a Roman
It'd
candle.
be fun, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I just want to
No.
be. All these
That's
people.
like throwing rocks at cops. That'd be fun, huh?
No, listen, though.
It would not.
It's fun to shoot a 50 cal, but
Not
it's
a
funner
UFOs.
to shoot at something with the 50
Set up
cal
a milk
and see them.
carton.
Yeah, but milk carton. Okay, what about a can of gas? That'd be fun. Okay, what about a car full of gas? Oh, that'd be funner. What
You know
about
what?
a tanker full of gas? Oh, that'd be cool. What about a helicopter?
I think you
What
just
about a
crossed over
UFO?
into terrorism, by
That'd
the
be
way.
cool.
No, it wouldn't.
I don't know about that, dude.
No, dude. Maybe the act of it would be fun.
The thought
but
is
at-
fun.
But
It's
after
like,
that,
no, it's like skydiving, dude. The thought of skydiving sounds fun.
No,
but
it
if you
doesn't.
get your ass up there in the plane, it isn't going to be as fun as you thought it was going to be.
no, I don't.
For
I don't
sure.
think that relates at all. That's again not equivalent.
Really?
Yes.
I think you both need therapy. What the hell are you talking about? Don't be shooting anything. Wow. All right. Now he shot at or his cousin wanted to shoot at the alien craft.
Right.
But he was against it.
With very good reason.
Rightly so.
Yeah.
But, it is a form of communication.
One shot for yes,
You
two
don't-
for no.
You don't think the first Native Americans that saw the first ships come around to the Americans, they didn't pick up a few stones and start hurling them at the ships?
Well, maybe, but
I think it's human nature to shoot.
You know,
at them.
I don't care what gun we shoot at them. I think their guns are bigger and
Oh,
better.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no.
Awful lot of them have crash landed, and
Well, supposedly.
yeah.
Well, good luck with that. But
I think that Roswell thing happened, dude.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know. I've heard a lot of testimony from people who had a lot to lose by giving it, and have, you know, and I just interesting.
I'm a believer. I'm not a knower yet, of course, but I'm a believer. And the stuff that Ben talked about, I think he was telling the truth. I think he believes what he was saying.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with what he was saying.
No, so you know, if so, now what?
So what do you think? Do you think Bigfoot's for real? What?
Oh, I'm
after
a big
talking
Bigfoot foot guy.
Warren, what do you think?
Man,
after
you know,
talking to Ben?
again, I don't disbelieve in Bigfoot. I don't necessarily believe yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, I'm a believer. As soon as I saw those hairy breasts, I'm on board. I was sold with that. You know, because
we won't tell you how he stumbled onto those
No,
hairy breast pictures, but
I'm just thinking logically. Anybody who's doing a hoax in 1960, whenever this was shot, they're going to go to the trouble to make a
I don't
costume.
know, dude.
with
Look at the
breasts.
alien autopsy thing.
Yeah,
That was pretty damn convincing for black and white days, right?
Yeah, are we convinced that that's,
I don't
that's
think
not
that,
true?
Yeah, no, they didn't do it in black and white days.
Is that already been hoaxed? It's
That
yeah,
has
no,
been
it's not real.
hoaxed. Yeah, that's been
Gosh, I never picked the right one. I liked it though.
It was entertaining
because I saw all kinds of stuff where special effects guys were watching the alien autopsies and saying, "Oh no, that's you can't do that.
Yeah,
you can't make that kind of skin separation look that good."
Well, with technology nowadays, I guess they've debunked it somehow.
I don't believe anything.
That's like a magician watching another magician go,
right?
How did he do that?
Figured out. I did watch an interview from a guy who actually worked at Area 51, and he was like, you know, I'll talk and I'll tell you some stuff, but I'm not going to tell you the stuff I'm not supposed to tell you. And he did say that he was one night going around on security, and you know, he was checking doors, make sure doors were locked, and there was one big building that there were only like 6 people that were allowed to go in there. Period.
At one time, or on the face of the planet?
At the time he worked there. There was only 6 people
because it wasn't
on
sprinkled
the base
properly.
That had the clearance.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, man.
And he happened to check the door of this building, and it was open. And he went in and saw something, and he will not say what it was. But
wow, that's very irresponsible. There's only 6 people that could have left the door open.
I know.
Who was the last one in?
But
you're fired.
Teased again.
Apparently, he reported it to his
High.
superior, and he
again.
told him, you know, shut your mouth. You didn't see anything, you know. And he's taking it to his grave, evidently. But
good for him. He's a good American.
There is something there that we're not supposed to know
or was.
about. Yeah, at that time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this stuff doesn't bother me anymore. I'm on board. Aliens are real. I'm on board.
Really?
I don't need any more proof. Really. You know, I'm not that. I don't need that.
I would
much.
just like some proof.
No,
Here's my
I've heard
thing.
enough.
Here's the big question: is the government profiting from the technology?
No, I don't believe in reverse engineering. I ain't buying it for a second.
Well,
and if they're profiting, they're not doing very well. Since we're several $1 trillion.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
They're not making very much money off this.
If you do the research, a lot of big things came from people who supposedly worked on these projects. And
Velcro?
Come on. Yeah.
They're mismanaging their Velcro
Motorola,
fund, I can tell you that.
Cell phones, all kinds of stuff are coming out. And actually, I think it was Bob Lazar. I think I seen this on UFO Hunters or one of these UFO things on TV, where he apparently, you know who Bob Lazar is? Apparently, he worked at Area 51 alongside aliens. Worked with and alongside actual living alien. And
do they have social security numbers? Are they paying their taxes?
I don't think so. And he's come up with this micro light gel stuff that's super light, and it holds like 2,000 times its weight, and that's just incredible new stuff. You can build, you know, spaceships.
And that's alien technology?
Evidently.
That's how they hold their ships together.
How else did he come up with it? You know,
I thought the Dyson.
How did they come up with the wheel? I don't see anything that we've got right now that's not just natural progression in technology.
Nothing.
No. What?
Really?
Yeah. What?
What were the things that we have now?
Yeah.
Natural progression in technology from the wheel? Is that what you said?
Sure, whatever.
Oh. Well, yeah. I'm not smart enough to know all the technology.
I don't think we're smart enough to have a craft that came from millions of light years away set down in front of us, and we can go, oh, well, yeah, that there. Okay, we'll just.
And you
no,
describe
I ain't
it.
buying
and
it.
understand
I don't believe it.
Oh.
No, but here's the thing, though. From that craft, you may not be able to determine, get anything out of anything that requires their power source that you may not be able to recreate or whatever. Okay, but maybe the fabric on the chair or the Velcro thing on the wall or the stupid little things that are nothing.
I'm very disappointed in aliens if they're using Velcro to hold up their tools.
Well, I don't know. Apparently that's where it came from.
Wow. Velcro, I don't see how it's an alien product.
No, it's
I
not.
have a poodle, and I take him through a hike.
You're right. There you go.
He is covered in these weeds. And I've been
buying
picking
it.
them out for years, and I don't know why somebody didn't figure the Velcro out thing a long time ago.
I'm right there with you.
Not to mention all the sheep jokes.
But you know what? It was too hard. It was too hard to sew the dog to the coat and then wiggle around.
There we go. There we go. Nice. Okay, so where are we going next week?
Where are we going next week?
We have got Black Cross Paranormal.
Ooh, yeah.
Coming on
That
next
sounds pretty
week.
ominous. Black Cross.
could be.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of paranormal stuff, but I was kind of a little intrigued by these guys, so we'll see where that goes.
Right on.
Yeah,
Always looking forward.
absolutely.
I heard that we're supposed to go live.
That's the rumor.
That's
the first of the year.
And then you're going to
Is that the
spill
rumor?
that right now, huh?
Oh, I'm
Okay.
not? All right.
You just did.
And
Oh my
reversing.
Holy crap, yeah. So
Is that,
the first Wednesday in January, we will be actually live on Inception Radio Network.
Wow.
That's right. 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Wow.
So you can be in the chat room. You can talk to us. You can actually call in. With,
I want somebody to call
questions,
in.
Comments. Yeah.
We need callers.
There you go.
We want to pick live brains.
You, the listener, have
They're the most tasty.
pushed us into going live, and here we go.
Mom.
Jumping.
All 12 of you.
All 12
The
of you.
pressure
Happy
is too
Uncle
much.
Frank.
We cracked. We cracked. It's over. We're going live.
All right.
So next time.
Look forward to that. Season 2 next year.
Woo-hoo.
So, yeah. All right.
And we'll talk to Black Cross Paranormal next time.
Looking forward to that. Absolutely. Until then.
Go
to www.truththeoremradio.com and listen to some past shows. If you haven't missed, I listened to one the other day that Mike Hallett with the Caesoria Dragons.
I love that show.
That was a good show.
Yes.
That was way back, like episode 1.4, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What a cool discovery! 300-foot ancient prehistoric sea dragons.
That is very possible.
Who'd have thunk? Right here.
Maybe
in,
we should
Utah.
have him on one of the live shows.
Yeah.
Hey.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we could.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Well, we will see you next time here on Truth Theorem Radio with Black Cross Paranormal.